So yes, hello everybody. My name is Marim. I'm 18. I'm part from the French team, So I've always been in France. My main hobby is dancing. I love listening to music, especially when it's Korean, since I'm really interested in this country.
Yes. So my name is Ilona. I'm 19 and I grew up in Réunion Island, which is a French island. I'm studying sports sciences. My favorite hobby is weightlifting, and if everything goes right, next year I'll be a professional firefighter.
Michelle, can you introduce yourself, please? Michelle? Can you hear us, Michelle? Okay, maybe she has some problem with her connection. I think that we can continue.
Okay, so move on. Rennes is a city in the west of France. It is a city with different universities, and our campus was created in 1968 and has 23,000 students in 24 departments. So our first idea is reducing food waste and composting. Each year in France, nearly 540,000 tons of food are thrown away in institutional quartering, i.e., more than 1 million meals wasted. It is a significant environmental cost that must be taken into account. The VEC challenge is an excellent occasion to consider these issues. As a group, we thought that the amount of the food waste of Rennes should be really huge since the campus possesses almost 10 canteens. In order to make our university more eco-friendly, we have thought about some ways to fix this matter. More especially, we have worked on two main ideas of recycling our food waste. First of all, we thought about recycling our food waste thanks to a system called compost. Composting is a process of transforming organic waste in the presence of water and oxygen through microorganisms. Nonetheless, meat and fish need a high temperature to compost, and which is not found in our compost. So in addition, those products could attract animals. So the compost can be done in a heap or in a composter. The product obtained, the compost, is a very useful amendment for gardening. Therefore, it could be used within the university or somewhere else. Besides this first project, we thought about something else. This idea might sound odd, but we took into consideration the idea of having omnivorous animals. That is to say, animals from species with digestive systems that allow them to absorb food of vegetable or and animal origin. This characteristic allows omnivorous species to adopt an opportunistic diet, which varies according to the availability of food. For instance, in France, we could have hens, roosters, or hogs. All in all, here are our ideas not to reduce our amount of food, but rather recycling it in natural ways.
Okay, so we had a second idea, which was rainwater collection. We can say that it rains quite often here in Rennes, but if there's too much rain and it isn't evacuated quickly, it can damage the ground. One of our ideas was therefore to collect rainwater in order to use it for non-drinkable purposes, such as toilet water, for example. The water would be collected in big collectors placed on the roofs. Then it would go down through pipes to be stored in an underground tank, waiting to be used for those non-drinkable purposes. I don't know if Michelle is here, if she can speak.
The installation of solar panels on flat roofs of the University of Rende allows energy saving in buildings. Using solar energy produces no air or water pollution and no greenhouse gases. It promotes energy independence.
So our fourth idea was recycling paper in collaboration with a company. Each French person consumes an average of 140 kilograms of paper and cardboard in 1 year, which makes a total of 9 million tons of annual waste for France. It takes about 1.4 tons of food to produce 1 ton of paper. As an ecological matter, this issue is not emphasized that much, even though it is quite simple to set recycling measures up. Here in France, companies like Veolia or Citeo offer systems to bring back used paper. In 2019, this company suggests €67, excluding taxes, per ton of paper to be recycled. So at the scale of the university, this sum can prove to be substantial and thus be used in the renovation of material for the students or to be added to the various budget for new projects within the campus. It's a win-win deal. Respond to the climate emergency while improving the condition for the students.
Okay, so finally we had an idea that was more large and less possible than the others because of the cost of it, but we decided to include it still. This idea was a fully renovated eco-friendly building. Indeed, many buildings on our campus are a little bit old and not well isolated. So this building includes solar panels to produce electricity thanks to the sun and rainwater collectors for non-drinkable use. We also thought about two solutions that could be used for temperature regulation. Firstly, isolated windows with a glazing that allows an automatic temperature regulation. If it's warm outside, the room stays cold and vice versa. We can also use the same mechanism with wood cladding all over the building. We also thought about a vegetalized roof to produce electricity via photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the conversion of solar rays and electricity thanks to plants. The more sun there is, the more electricity will be produced. Some researches have shown that 9 microwatt per square centimeter could be produced via photosynthesis. Also, since it's often windy there, we thought about another way to produce electricity thanks to a wind turbine that could convert the wind into electricity. With this idea, we try to think about a way that allows the building to be used no matter the weather outside. We also added a way to store the energy if too much of it is produced, so none of it will be wasted and could be used later if needed. So I think that we're done. Thanks for listening us.
Well, thank you very much for your presentation. So now I think it's time for the members of the jury to ask questions about the project. So please, if you have any questions or comments, you're welcome to do it. Just unmute your microphone.
Well, I'll fire away if I may. My question is, because there are a number of suggestions and ideas here, which one would you prioritize and which one do you think is feasible, something that students can actually carry out and implement on our campus?
I think that reducing food waste is possible for us to do it because we are already aware of this matter. So it's an issue that we could work on easily, I think.
Thank you. Does anybody else have another question for this team? Questions? Okay, in the chat, the members of the jury, they are congratulating the team for the presentation. So I assume we can move to the next team. I hope so. I hope it's not a problem.